Algeria has launched a new satellite for Sahel surveillance. Congratulations to Algeria. A satellite from Africa. You know, many years ago, it was very difficult. Africans never had satellites. Yeah, even the telecommunication satellites, the one that helped people make communication using cell phones many years ago, belonged to Europeans. So Africans making a phone call from your bedroom to the neighbor's house, the call will be routed to Europe satellite and back to Africa. That's why it was so expensive. I don't know if you remember. In the 1990s, phone calls were very expensive. And cell phones back in time were limited to rich people, political agents, and security, security agencies. It was very, very expensive until Mohammed Gaddafi offered to pay $400 million to buy a satellite for Africans, because Africans could not put together $500 million to buy their own satellite. It was a very difficult time. Props to Mohammed Gaddafi, who's done a lot of things for Africans, even though Africans betrayed him when he was bombed. No African country lifted the finger to say you cannot bomb our African brother in African land. That's why I say to you, brotherhood has nothing to do with what you think. Brotherhood is proven. Mohammed Gaddafi spent $400 million of his own money to buy a satellite for African people to use as a telecommunication tool. But nobody lifted a finger when Europe and America went to bomb his palace. Not even saying, okay, you guys are too strong, but you cannot do this. It's immoral. Nobody's lifted a finger. Anyway, now Algeria has launched this satellite, a high-resolution satellite aimed at monitoring climate, agriculture, and security threats in the Sahel. So monitoring climate, agriculture, and security threats sounds like good, good thing for the country. But let me just remind you see the country here? It's named Mali. Mali and Algeria don't get along. Why? Because Mali accuses Algeria of harboring terrorists. Remember, Niger accused Benin of harboring French people who are against Niger. Mali accuses Algeria of harboring terrorists that are against Mali's government. Now, is this true? Yes, some of the people Mali called terrorists have lived in Algeria. And also Algeria shot down Mali's drone during operation against terrorists. So the Malian government sent a drone to go and destroy those terrorists near the border. And the Malian government shot the drone down, saying that the drone had crossed the border.
The Malian authorities asked the Algerian authorities to provide them with evidence of the violation of their airspace by a Malian reconnaissance drone. No satisfactory response to the Malian request has been forthcoming for 72 hours. The transitional government concludes with absolute certainty that the Malian Armed Security Forces drone was destroyed as a result of premeditated hostile action by the Algerian regime.
Now my question again here is if Mali and Algeria were good friends, would have Algeria shot the drone down, even if it was really in a border inside the land of Algerians? I don't think so. It's like playing soccer, like I said to you before. If kids from two neighbors that get along are playing soccer and you shoot the ball, it goes to the neighbor's house. If you get along with the neighbor, your parents are fine. The neighbor will say, hey, boys, be careful. Don't shoot here. They will give you the ball. But if the neighbor and your parents don't get along, they will confiscate your ball. That's how it goes. Now, if Mali and Algeria got along, even though the drone could have gone to Algeria as per Algeria, they wouldn't have shut it down. It means there's something really wrong between them, accusations and many things. So the diplomatic relation is shut down. Mali called back its ambassador, Algeria called back its ambassador, but now Algeria is getting more equipment. Now the other question is this one: who helped Algeria to fly its satellites? China and Russia. Okay? Now China and Russia are also partners of Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger. Now it's interesting. That shows you one thing, that these big powers have no poles. Okay? They don't care whether you're at war or you have issues. They just do business. So China and Russia, black people think they love them as much as maybe they do, I don't know, are also equipping Algeria, who is the enemy of Mali. Now, are they wrong to do so? Absolutely not. Algeria has the right to equip itself like any other country in the world. It's up to Mali to equip itself as well to protect themselves. The good thing about this is Algeria is boosting over 1,200 space engineers through this and specialists trained through partnerships and domestic programs. So Algeria is not just buying satellites to fly, they're also training their people to be adequately capable. 1,200 engineers. Unlike many African countries, when they buy services from Europeans and Americans and Chinese, they just get the train, installed. They just get the infrastructure. They don't get to train the locals to learn how to do things for themselves. Because in the future, you will need maintenance. And when you need maintenance, you have no skills. You will be forced to call the very same people that came to install things for you. That's dependency forever. And Algeria is not doing that. Now we're moving to Kenya. Yes, fellas, Kenya is a beautiful place, lovely people. If you've never been there, I encourage you firmly to go and visit Kenya. It's one of those places you're going to have a good time. Yeah, you're not going to get lost in Kenya. All sort of people that you're looking for, you're going to find. You're going to find serious people. You're going to find crazy people. Yeah, that's Kenya for you. Now, in Kenya, something interesting is happening. The government wants to apply tax on digital. So all services via digital will be taxed now. Now, was it taxed before? No, it's never used to be taxed because digital is just entering Africa. Now, many people profited from that situation to make some money. Now, government is clamping on all digital services. Kenya is pushing back. The Kenyans are not happy about this at all. They're pushing back against the government. Now, you're asking yourself a question to know, why are Kenyans pushing? Who are the companies targeted? Foreign companies without physical presence like global tech giant Google is targeted, Meta will pay tax, Amazon will pay tax, Spotify, Netflix and more. Now why Kenyans will be angry? Because they're trying to make Google, Meta, Amazon, Spotify and Netflix pay. Well, it's very interesting because it's not limited to them. The people that are going to be paying the digital tax are also Kenyan individuals and creators. We're talking about YouTubers, TikTokers from Kenya, Instagram influencers will have to pay the tax. They will pay income tax from ads and sponsorships. So the Kenyan government is targeting everybody and Kenyans are not happy. When there are no jobs, what do you expect people to do? They're trying to create their own jobs. Kenyans dove into the digital looking for opportunities because there are no opportunities of work. Now the government is following them into what they just created for themselves to get them to pay tax. That's why the Kenyans are not happy. Now, is tax wrong? It's not wrong. What is the goal of tax? Well, in Kenyan context, tax is there to build education, like primary education, school feeding program, bursaries, healthcare. They're trying to have universal healthcare. And they're trying to have infrastructure like roads, bridges, power grids, and digital connectivities built with tax money. You need tax money to build road. Now, however, why are the Kenyans angry? Kenyans are not happy because they know money will not be serving the population as they promise. The money will be going to politicians' pockets, to buy second house, third house, and fourth houses. So they're going to tax you on the job you created for yourself, so they can feed themselves. People that are targeted are also digital services like graphic designers, coders, writers, and platforms like Fiverr. People that are creating their own jobs. They don't like that. Why? Because in Africa, African politicians don't use tax money to build roads, hospitals, and other things. They use tax money to build the second house, the third house, have a fourth wife, a sixth wife, and